Alright then guys, welcome back to another video, welcome to my football channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Premier League fixtures that have released this morning. They came out at 9 AM UK time. We're going to do a predictor for the week 1 fixtures. I'm on a website called Toto Master. It's literally the first thing I found whilst I was online for predicting scores, and I just thought it would be fun as we're going through the fixtures, looking through some of the big early games, looking through when the top 4 teams are going to be playing one another. I thought we could make it a little bit interesting by also predicting week 1's fixtures. Of course, it doesn't really mean anything, it's just a bit of fun, but we're going to see what it comes out with. Now, the first week, the big fixture is Manchester United and Chelsea. As a Chelsea fan, I think it's quite good to get some of the more difficult fixtures out of the way early in the season. Manchester United away, whether United are going to be the way they ended last season or whether they're going to have signed a load of new players and are going to be a completely different team next season, it's always a tough game. No matter how well or bad they're playing, it's never a nice, easy place to go, Old Trafford. So I think in week 1, whoever's the Chelsea manager, I think the expectations will be low. We can go to Old Trafford and try and get something. So let's go and take a little look through week 1 fixtures. I've got the Premier League app up on my phone. It feels so good to see all of the fixtures. Friday night, Liverpool versus Norwich. And immediately, the first thing that springs to mind is Liverpool have 4 days of rest, or 5 days of rest, whichever way you want to look at it, before the Super Cup game in Istanbul on Wednesday the 14th of August. And Chelsea are the final fixture of that weekend, playing on the Sunday at 4:30, which again, as a Chelsea fan, of course, my bias would say that that's unfair. I don't think anyone can say that it isn't unfair to go into a Super Cup match with 2 days less rest than Liverpool, but it is what it is. West Ham versus Manchester City is the lunchtime kickoff on the Saturday. That could be a little banana skin, potentially, depending on how West Ham's transfer window goes for the champions. Bournemouth versus Sheffield United, probably a home win in my opinion. Burnley versus Southampton, again, I'm going to say home win. Palace versus Everton, that's got 1-1 draw written all over it. Leicester versus Wolves, 2 teams that will be expecting to have pretty good seasons next year, I expect. That could be an interesting one. I'm going to say 2-2. Watford versus Brighton, home win. Spurs versus Villa, home win. And then the first Super Sunday of the season, Newcastle versus Arsenal. That is a big game. Home win. I'm just going to say it. I think Newcastle are going to have a good year next year if the takeover goes ahead. Let's just say they're going to beat Arsenal just to make this video interesting and spark some debate in the comments. And then Manchester United versus Chelsea. That's the big match in week number 1. The big match in week number 2 is City versus Spurs. Right now it says that all of the matches are going to be played on Saturday the 17th of August. I'm sure over the coming weeks the TV deals and all that stuff and who plays live on which day will dictate the changes of some of these fixtures. Some will be on Saturday night, some will be on Sunday. I think there's maybe still a couple of games on Monday, and I don't think there's that many on Friday nights, but I expect City versus Spurs won't be a 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday the 17th of August. And then in week 3, Liverpool versus Arsenal. So of all of the top 6 big clubs, each of them will play a match against one of the other within one of the first 3 weeks. And then this year, there's a 2-week break in February where there'll be 5 matches on each weekend. So each team doesn't get 2 weeks off, they get 1 week off in the middle of the season, which has been something that has been talked about for a long time. Whether it will really impact and change and benefit English clubs in the latter stages of European competition, we're going to find that out this season. Without any further ado, I'm going to take a look and predict all of the matches for week number 1 this season. I've got it recording on my screen now. The first match is Liverpool versus Norwich. So we're going to choose the home team. We choose Liverpool. Choose the away team. It's Norwich. And it says Liverpool 3, Norwich 1. The probabilities of a home win, 58%. 23% draw, 19% away. Yeah, okay. I'm not entirely sure whether this is even worth doing this, but we're going to do it anyway. Let's go with West Ham versus Manchester City. See what they say for this one. Predict it 2-1 to Man City. Higher chance of West Ham winning than there was Norwich winning at Liverpool, which definitely makes sense. 46% probability of a Man City win. City get off to a good start to the season, according to the Toto Master Predictor. Bournemouth versus Sheffield United. Let's see what it says to this. I'm going to say that it's going to say 1-1. 3-2 Bournemouth. All right. 5-goal thriller. at Dean Court to start the season? Completely and utterly hypothetical beyond belief at this point. Burnley versus Southampton, the fourth game, 2-2. Again, a game that could have easily been 0-0, 4 goals. We'll take that for match of the day for week 1. Let's move on straight away to Palace versus Everton. I said this had 1-1 written all over it. What does the Toto Master Predictor come out with? 2-2 again. It's actually being quite kind in terms of the goals. But if you look at the probabilities of home, draw and away, it's pretty much all the same. Let's move on to the next one, which is Leicester versus Wolves. This is quite an interesting one to see because both teams have pretty good ends to the season. 2-2. It's just going to say 2-2 for everything, isn't it? I think. I'll bet Man United Chelsea's 2-2 as well. Watford versus Brighton. We may as well keep going with this and see who ends up on top after week 1. 2-1 win for Watford. Good start to the season for them. Spurs, they are playing in the late kickoff against Aston Villa. That one says 2-1 to Spurs as well. And then we move on to the games of the weekend. Newcastle versus Arsenal. 2-2. Shock, horror. This is a bit of a waste of time. I do apologise if any of you feel like you've wasted your day watching the rest of this video. And 2-2 as well for Manchester United versus Chelsea. United were a bit better in their last match. 0.6% higher than Chelsea. Again, it's almost impossible to predict it. I'm sure as it comes to next season, I'm going to be doing a prediction series here on my channel where we go through a couple of days or a day before the games kick off. We're going to go through each one, give some predictions. We're going to give like the BBC do where they have the table as it stands and then the prediction table as well. That is the predictor for week 1. Plenty of 2-2 draws in there. Wins for Liverpool, Watford, City, Spurs, and I think it was Bournemouth as well. So let's go and take a look at the end of the season. The final weekend of the season sees Leicester versus Manchester United. That's a tough game for United. City will host Norwich on Sunday the 17th of May 2020. What a weird thing to think, 2020. City will win their last game of the season, most likely. Liverpool travel to Newcastle on the final day of the season. Chelsea host Wolves. Some tricky matches for some of the big teams there. Spurs are at Palace as well, never an easy place to go. Chelsea always seem to play Liverpool away in May or April. Tough end to the season for Liverpool, it looks as though, more so than any of the other teams. That brings an end to looking through the Premier League fixtures. The only thing that's really important, quite frankly, is there is 380 matches and every team will play the other team twice, as Alex Goldberg said on Twitter, and it almost made me not want to make this video because I thought, well, that's actually the reality. But I thought it would be fun as I found this stupid soccer prediction machine, Toto Master. Let me know in the comments, of course, what you think is going to happen in week number 1. I don't think there's any debate as to what the biggest game of the weekend is on paper, but let me know how you think your team is going to get on in your first fixture in the Premier League season. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you again for all of the support. If you do enjoy this video, leave a like, and also if you can, let me know in the comments below if you know of any decent prediction software that we can use next season for the prediction series. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.